are you today? So, if you saw me attempt to schedule this live stream last night and then just never come back to it, that would be because last night I lost power. I don't even know what the fuck that was, but okay. Um, and then I just decided, like, I got it back in the middle of the night, but I was like, I'd already gone to sleep, and I was like, fuck it. Um, it's like I'm staying asleep now. But um yeah, so that was weird. Fucking today though, I just wanted to talk about a couple more deaf comedians. We've been talking about deaf comedians like in terms of, the content creator spotlights. A lot of the creators are really funny and offer a lot of skits and humor and entertainment and comedy. Um, Three people that come to mind that particularly identify as comedians in their social media content, from my understanding, would be Curtis Griffin, who we've already talked about. I linked that video in the description. And then there's two more that I want to talk about today. One would be Deafies in Drag, Deafies, and the other would be well, I think he's changing his name. He's been known as the Flipside Show, but I think he's now gonna go by his actual name. I know his first name is Brett. I think you say his last name Shaffer. um so yeah. And Duffy's and Jag is put together by Selena. I don't know how to say their last name. Minogue, Minogue. Yeah. Selena Minogue and Casavina. I also don't think I know the correct pronouns for them, so I apologize, y'all. I don't mean to be inappropriate or insensitive. But so we're gonna be talking about Duffy's and Drag and the Flipside Show today. I think the Flipside Show is now just gonna be going by Brett Shaffer, so I might still keep calling him the Flipside Show because that's how I've known him for like so many years now. But I think you can find him by going by Brett Shaffer, and I need to try to remember to call him Brett. But yeah, so I got links in the description of the video for everything we're checking out today. And I just wanted to show you guys, a couple of skits from each one of them that I've enjoyed, and just kind of discuss like why I think their deaf representation is so important. Um, and I also just kind of want to discuss, like, when it comes to entertainment, real quick, like with deaf representation, it's very difficult to have deaf voices and deaf ideas and deaf perspectives led in entertainment and amplified. And when deaf people are given roles in mainstream media, a lot of times um, deaf people will be, just to get the part, could still be contributing to problematic things, Um, and so for us, having representation on our own issues and being able to laugh at deafness from a deaf perspective, where deaf people are included, and what we are laughing about in terms of the struggles we're going through is how hearing people treat us. It's not about degrading us for being deaf. And that's where a lot of hearing people, they're not able to, well, I think sometimes it's just that they don't know better, but a lot of times I think it's when they make fun of deafness and then try to say it's a joke. I think it's just how they really feel, but they're just laughing about it because it's funny to them to discriminate against deaf people. And then sometimes it's like, yeah, like it's just, and it's just like a thing where it's like sometimes they legit don't understand the history, and they don't understand why what they're saying is so bad. And in that case, I really do try and give them the benefit of the doubt. But even that has a limit for me, because even if you don't know better, that doesn't excuse the harm it causes on me. And so there are times where I just have to be like, I can't be the one to teach you because this is harming me too much, and I have to be able to, it's not my job to take the harm it causes because you don't know better, right? Um, and so, yeah, there's that. And a lot of times, though, it's like, it's not that they just don't know better, though. They do know. And that's why they think it's funny, you know? Um, so yeah, so that's why it's really important, that when we're talking and when it comes to any type of jokes about deafness, it really needs to be from deaf people. Um, Particularly under the constructs of which we live today. So yeah, I'm gonna roll my intro and then let's get started. Let's check these guys out. Hi, my name is Lexi, aka Deaf Child. I'm born deaf, hard of hearing. My team was one of the top teams between 2020 and 2024 in New Orleans and Louisiana. I began doing business as Deaf Child in 2013, marketing 2011, and sales 2009. I've earned 50 plus certifications in marketing and sales, and I have my Bachelor of Science from Loyola University, New Orleans, with a music industry studies major and a business administration minor. Visit my site at noladeafchild.com. Okay, so first up, I figure we could talk about Deafies and Drag. Deafies and Drag is our deaf drag queen, Selena Minogue and Casavina. Um, they got a website and Instagram too. We'll check out. And I just think they got a lot of content. A lot of it is just around a few minutes, between 2 and 5 minutes or so, or 1 minute or so. Um, and so what you're gonna get from them, there will be to some degree advocacy in the entertainment, but the focus with them is just going to be the comedy and the entertainment. And I think that's also why I decided to separate the Flipside Show and Deafies and Drag from other deaf content creators who are also comedians and really funny. I feel with those other platforms, you are going to get that humor and that entertainment, but you're also going to be getting a lot more in other areas with your deaf awareness journey from them. But with Deafies in Drag and the Flipside platform, I do feel that basically the only things that you're going to get from these two platforms are comedy and ASL. And I think they can both be beneficial for different reasons. Um, and so yeah, so they are on YouTube. We're gonna check out one of their videos. Did I pull it up already? No, I didn't. You know what? I figure, hmm. Yeah, we'll find something. Let's find something. Okay, let's watch Death at the Airport. Okay, you know what? This is actually a long one. Okay, I'm not gonna watch all of this. What we're gonna do is just kind of go through, maybe I was gonna do Death at the Airport. Let's do a shorter one actually. Um, let's see. Actually, I was gonna react to this other video, so let's see how long this video is. Okay, this is about a minute and a half, so let's find one about a minute and a half here. Let's watch this Last of Us parody. So, right now in the skit, basically, it's got the hearing. I'm gonna start doing a little voiceover while this plays because I'm just realizing it's all silent processing. I'm drinking my coffee. Um, but fucking, so it's showing like a skit. There's like a monster, and they're like signing. For those of you who may not be looking, and it's basically saying, okay, we gotta be very quiet because the monster can hear very very well, but it can't see. And so they're like, okay, we got deaf game, we can sign. And he's like, be quiet, be quiet. All right, and that's where we're at now. He's like, this is serious. Don't make any noise. And they're like, calm down. There's nothing to worry about. In fact, I've already been bitten. See? But you, yeah, I don't know about you. He's like, enough with your sarcasm jokes. This is serious. Did he even know that the clicker has been right there the whole time we've been chatting? And it's like kind of like a monster. He's like, see, it's nothing. And the person's like, hi, monster. And he's like, look, this is the bite. I'm still alive. It's kind of funny. And the one saying no, don't started clapping, but the other one was being quiet. And so then they both look at each other and fucking run. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like celebrating what makes us different, being like, see, look, we don't have to worry about talking. We can sign, but then it's got like a monster. But yeah, fucking, it's just one of those things that will make deaf people chuckle because it's including our culture, including our language. It includes us without making us like, the only reason we're the center of the joke is because it's deaf people with deaf representation. It doesn't make us the butt of the joke. The butt, you know what I mean? The concept of the joke is actually making the sound, right? Um, and so that's the thing where like a lot of hearing people, they will make fun of deafness in a way that excludes us and degrades us and laughs at how they oppress us. And when it's hearing people doing that, it's just bullying. It's just discriminating. It's not a coping mechanism because you're not coping with the way you oppress us. We are. When it comes from us, it's us coping with how we are oppressed. But from you, it's a defense mechanism for you trying to have cognitive dissonance from how you discriminate. You know what I mean? And so that's why, when we have like, it's important, like if you want to share jokes about deafness, share from the deaf perspective, right? And so they also have a website, and their website says ASL Comedy and Drag. It's deafiesanddrag.com. And you can buy tickets to their upcoming shows, as well as book them here, send them a message on here, and you can get more information about what you will get from having them at their event if you'd like, or what you could be getting from them. And honestly, I think it's a great deal. I think it's a great package. I love the way they present themselves, and I love their humor. So highly recommend checking them out and booking them for your events. I should have totally made sure that the messages were up. So they're also on Facebook. Highly recommend giving them a follow on all platforms. We checked out their YouTube. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. I wonder if they're on TikTok too. I don't know if I'm following them on TikTok or not. So here they got, when you see someone use ASL, but it's someone doing the oh my god, I'm forgetting the Mamushi Star video. I think that's what it's called from. But yeah, and it's like showing how like hearing people will be dancing with some ASL and deaf people will get excited because we're like, oh, they signed. Turns out they don't know sign. They just they just know the trend. Um, but yeah, fucking, and then Instagram. On Instagram, you'll also get more of those visuals, find out about where they're at, and just have them, I know some people spend more time on Facebook, some people spend more time on Instagram. I like to follow people on as many platforms as I can because the algorithms will be showing me different things at different times. That way I don't miss something. So yeah. So moving on, we've also got the Flipside Show. So he had requested a name change. So he was previously known just as the Flipside Show, but I'm pretty sure he's trying to get it changed to just It's Brett Shaffer. Because that's what his Instagram was changed to. His Instagram used to be the Flipside Show, and he changed that to It's Brett Shaffer. Um, so, yeah, and then he also made a post and it says, in case you were wondering, I did request a name change for my page. Nothing has happened yet. So we'll see, but maybe he's gonna get this. So if the Flipside Show Facebook URL gets broken or whatever, look for It's Brett Shaffer. That's probably gonna work for you. So yeah. I mostly just follow him on Facebook. He is also on Instagram, and you'll get the same content, the same skits. And again, he's just gonna be one of those people that you're basically only gonna get deaf comedy skits primarily from him. And the same with the Deafies and Drag as well. And um, he basically, yeah, I don't know. Right here it says the Flipside Show. Right here it says the Flip Side. And then here it says It's Brett Shaffer. So when I first saw this, I was like, well, maybe he's dropping show from the name. But then I saw his Instagram and I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's changing it. I don't know. But so here he's making a pun on the sign for vote could be perceived kind of similar to the sign for tea. And so he's making a joke like, do you plan to vote? And she's like, nah, I don't want tea. Um, things like that. So a lot of his stuff is just gonna be like, ASL puns or just kind of like lighthearted humor. Um, and so one of my favorite videos he ever did though was, what the fuck? Wrong button. Oh no, that's full screen. I don't want to hold full screen it. Um, Too bad I can't make this bigger. Whatever. Um, or maybe I can if I don't know. Fuck it. Alright, so my bad. I got distracted with how tiny this video window is. So he had made a video. One of my favorite ones that he ever did was this Halloween video about if they were deaf. And it's him reimagining himself, playing himself, but reimagining different scary movie characters as if they were deaf characters and having a deaf round table. And it's just fucking hilarious to me because, because we don't really get to see ourselves. And so, and whenever the closest, that we do get to see ourselves represented is in ways, in my opinion, that could be socially problematic, you know? And so for him to reimagine like scenarios where there's no deaf representation, but reimagine it as if there was deaf representation, it kind of gives you this sense of um, feeling like, oh, okay, so this could be what the energy could be like if deaf people were actually included in society. You know what I'm saying? And it's still really, really funny, but then when you think about the concepts of it too, it's just kind of like, and then you apply that to everything. And then there's also like this thing in deaf community, some deaf people, they're able to understand why we are discriminated against for being deaf, but still don't understand intersectionality, how the same concepts apply in other scenarios too. So that's another thing that bothers me. But you know what? That's a whole different concept. I don't know why I just like got there because I guess it's just been on my mind, but it's not necessarily like it's adjacent to this, but not, I don't know where I'm going. Um, okay, but anyway, let's watch this fucking video. My bad. So it says, okay, y'all know tonight is trick or treating. That means no killing any kids, please. Do you understand? And it says, yes, it's got Frankenstein signing really slow. Frankenstein's monster saying, yes, I. And then he says, his signing is really slow, just like his walking. And then it's got a knife. And he says, whoa, just teasing. Um, and then it's got Freddy Krueger with his knife's hands, like poking at a doll. And he says, did you understand what I say? He says, fine, repeat what I said. It says, you said, and then trying to sign with the knife nails. He's like, gibberish. I can't see what you're signing with that glove. Use your other hand. He says, you said no killing kids at trick-or-treating. He said, that's better. He said, where's Jason? Jason's hiding behind the tree with a machete. Oh, no, a knife. He said, Jason, come here. He said, all right. Um, he said, so, do you know what's up here? He said, is this a camp? A camp? No, this is not a camp. Then you have nothing to worry about. Just making sure. And then he's got himself coming out. Oh, and then he puts on a scary mask. I look just like you, Freddy. He says, may I have your permission to kill him? Go ahead. And then it's got Freddy chasing. You see, so it's just kind of like one of those things where it includes, there could be like an issue like with long nails. I understand there could be a thing where, um, maybe that goes to, well, I don't know though, because I'm not sure. So in deaf community, there is, in my opinion, some potential racism where people will act like they can't understand signers with long nails, and it's typically of people, who are black, typically long nails. White people will be like, I don't want you signing with long nails, right? It's a thing in deaf community. And so part of me is like, is that Freddy Krueger long nail joke? Could that be touching on that? Or is it just about the fact of there being knives on the fingers that would make it hard? Would that be a different scenario? Because that's obviously much, much longer than any um, fake nail would be. I don't think that, even if, I don't know, I don't know, even if he didn't mean for that, could that have been the impact though? But, so that is a whole different conversation that is crossing my mind right now. But okay, so anyway, I still think it is a funny video. I just kind of like the part where at the end where he's like, well, can I kill that dude? Yeah, fine, go ahead. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm fucked up. But anyway, so this is from a few years ago, from 4 years ago, one of my favorite little deaf Halloween videos that he's done. I highly recommend, checking it out. Let's come out here. So today what we've talked about is just a little bit of social issues in regards to how intersectionality and social issues can come into play when it comes to deaf entertainment, whether it's from the deaf perspective or hearing perspective. We've talked about that a bit. We've talked about how, even though I've talked about other deaf comedians like Curtis Griffin in the Deaf Creator Spotlights, those people, even though I don't want to, take away from how they are definitely comedians, and I don't want to like act like, the reason I did this little video spot, like where I separated that, was because the other ones where I mentioned them in other videos, I feel like comedy isn't their only focus, even if they do comedy and do it really well. I feel you're also going to get other things from those platforms, whereas these two creators, where I said deaf comedians on this one, from these platforms, you're basically only going to get comedy, and I think so part of that is also just about like managing expectations from my understanding of what I'm experiencing when I engage in these spaces, so that way you know what your mind is going to be in for, right? Because there are times where, on a certain level, you can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to ignore human rights issues and focus on self-care because I can't handle dealing with your shit. That's not self-care. That's you just ignoring human rights for your own benefit and kind of like ignorance bliss mode. But fucking whenever there is also so I don't like it when people push that narrative to actually just not pay attention to human rights. That pisses me the fuck off. But it is true that as a human, you need mental rest. You need mental breaks. You need spaces where breaks of time where your mind isn't in processing mode on these issues because you will get burned out. You need to be able to have a space where you're like, okay, I'm going to shut off right now. And so that's why I think it's important to say, okay, here's a couple of spaces where you may be able to do that, and you're not going to get presented with information that could, well, I don't know, everybody has different triggers, but hopefully you might statistically get less triggered by knowing where are some platforms that might not have a trigger, right? Um, Sometimes you do need that, right? So understanding what that balance is too is also a learning journey. But yeah, so deaf representation is super important for me. Thank you so much for joining me for Deaf Awareness Month, part 25. Um, yeah, fucking, it's, life is hard, life's a bitch, and then you die. I appreciate you. I hope you go follow these deaf comedians, check out these deaf content creators. Thank you for uplifting and caring about deaf representation. I hope you have a great day. And yeah, I appreciate you. Bye. Thanks for watching. Join the loyalty program at noladeafchild.com/loyalty and check in during live streams to get points for rewards.